Can we go back to the easy levels, please? What? No. Oh, dear. Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Manic Miners. We have some more lavery levels to play today. My hope is that we can get through this pair of levels, and then that will leave us back to basics, which will be one video, I'm sure, and then Rocky Horror, which will be one video, I'm sure. So that is my sort of plan. We will see how it goes, then how difficult hot stuff is going to be. One thing I did want to mention, however, is you might notice here in the old progress faction that it only says I've done 25 levels, when in reality there are, what, 4 levels I haven't done, so it should say there's 31. I think that is because, if I go back up here, you can see a few that say old, like that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And maybe one other somewhere. Yes, my best theory is that I played those levels before the 1.0 version came out, because I remember when 1.0 came out and this new sort of menu screen and all this jazz arrived, we were already partway through Basmod. I remember because I couldn't get into Basmod, and that scared me a little bit. So yeah, I think that's the reason behind that. But never mind. I might need to do those again off camera at some point. I shan't worry about that.
Okay, Rock Raider, are you ready for your next mission? We have established our Rock Raider HQ on the edge of a large underground lake. Geological scans show us that the area is rich in ore and energy crystal seams. However, they have also revealed that a river of molten lava is approaching our base. You will need to act quickly to breach the flow of lava and continue our mining operation by crossing the lake to mine the energy crystals and ore. Once we have collected 35 energy crystals, we can evacuate the base to a safer cavern.
Dare I repeat what I said possibly last episode or the episode before that? Why under the sun do we beam in the base next to the lava on the wrong side of the Ruddy River instead of beaming down on the right side of the Ruddy River? But never mind. I don't know how these things work. Maybe there's a margin of error for these things. That's the wrong button. I always forget how these bloody controls work. Right! Never mind any of that silly billiness. I want to try and mend up these pieces and put down some power paths so that we can try and stem the flow of the lava. I haven't done this level in donkey's years. Ooh. Golly, I don't remember that being there before. Right, I thought they'd mended it all really quickly, but it wasn't these pieces, it was these ones. Never mind, you can't have everything in life. There we are, that one's gone quite successfully. I didn't realise that piece was still there. I might try and save that piece as well. Never mind, there goes that. Oh god, oh goodness gracious, golly gosh. This is not going to go frightfully well. This is going to be quite a severe problem. I think I might need to go up to 7 people. I think that might be vaguely wise to do that. I'm going to mine out these pieces while I've got a chance in case there are crystals in them. Yep, there we are, 3 crystals in there. Very important to have those. And we'll see what's in here. Nothing. Great, so I just opened up an avenue of potential doom. Excellent. This is going to go so well. Yes, so... oh, that's interesting. I don't remember this being here either. I remember just going across here, but I don't remember there being these sort of bits off to the side. That's a little bit interesting. Right, never mind any of that rubbish. We need to get on with building a base, because we need to get the bloody hell out of here, because for some reason we couldn't land over here. Man alive. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in the mind of the Chief O'Brien equivalent we have up on the old LMS Explorer, telling us where we're going to beam down. Goodness only knows. Right, let's get this power path built, and then we can pop this in here. There we are, build the power station, and then... and then what? I am not sure. Because on the one hand, what I think if I try to remember my old strategy of playing the game back before the halcyon days of Manic Miners, I would get a tunnel scout, take one person across the river, take them out, and then essentially beam up everything here except the tool store, put the last few crystals back in from beaming up the buildings, and then beam up the few people and the tool store, and then just restart over here completely afresh, and just leave this behind to engulf itself. I don't know exactly how well that's going to go, because of course I can come back with the benefit of things like the tunnel transport, for example. I could even get an upgraded large mobile laser cutter. Try saying that 3 times quickly and it'll have wasted several minutes of your life achieving something that doesn't matter. I could get an upgraded large mobile laser cutter, and then the lava wouldn't matter at that stage, would it? I could just meander around at my leisure and leave the lava by the wayside and have the crystals be collected by a tunnel transport. So that's a possibility. The question is do I want to go across that way, because I feel like that's a little bit cheating, right? And I feel like if you've been through this much of the series, if you're still here at episode 963,1292, or whatever the hell it is we're at the moment, then I feel like you're here to see a tad more effort than that. So I'm going to try something a little bit different, and the fact that the lava doesn't seem to be creeping around quite as quickly as it did once long ago, then things might go a little bit more smoothly for me. So I probably can't build here because this looks a little bit lumpy and bumpy, like some poorly produced porridge, which is far from marvellous. So, yes, it is sandwich o'clock. How could I forget? There we are, carrying on with life. Let me bring down a few more people. Let me set that to repair. We now a few more people. How many is that? That's 9, I think. Yep, let's have number 10. And then I am going to wait for everybody to be vaguely ready as soon as someone pops this down here. And I stop hiccuping from having my dinner. I apologise for that. And I'm going to get all of you to get guns because I have made that mistake one too many times. Even when I started the level by saying, maybe they're gonna have monsters in this level, and then I completely forget to actually prepare for the eventuality of monsters, which, if you ask me, is monstrous. Now, who's the person who doesn't have a gun? 'Tis you, you pacifist. That is not allowed. You must become murderous. Right. I need another piece of ore before I can upgrade this. Then I'm going to get a super teleport pad. I'm going to bring down probably a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a truck or a digger or something like that. Something that I can put a person in and then sort of ferry people across the river one by one, using that, because I want to actually evacuate the people rather than just beaming them up and beaming them back down again, because that seems a little too easy. Although, saying that, it would also be the expeditious thing to do, and if I want to get through this level and hot stuffs in a reasonable space of time, and I do not consider the length of the last 3 or so episodes to be reasonable in the slightest, then yeah, I should probably do what is fast rather than what is more visually interesting. Speaking of visually interesting, can I help? I'm sure I won't be very good at helping, but I will do a bit of helping. Look at me helping. Did the thing and everything, isn't that marvellous? And I can just steal things out of people's hands. That is such a cruel thing to do. I just love that I can just, hey, give me that. This is my job. He said, oh, actually, you can't steal things. You can't steal things out of people's hands. I'm pressing the button and nothing's happening. Oh my goodness, you can only do highway robbery in a vehicle. I didn't realise this. Well, we don't need any more of these. I mean, I was going over here the whole time and know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not a complete and utter muppet. Honest. Right, where are the crystals coming in? They're coming in from over here because we found some more. That's good because we need some more. However, very quickly going to run out of walls that we can drill, aren't we? So, yeah, I'm getting a tad worried. Alright, let's bring down that tunnel transport that we were talking about and put in our resident pilot. Let's not make the same joke for the umpteenth time. Right, yes, so now we can bring down perhaps a couple of little vehicles. What would be best? I'm gonna go for a truck, because that's obvious, I suppose. Right, and then... Well, I'm most terribly sorry that it doesn't have the necessary horsepower in order to titillate you sufficiently. However, we're slightly in a pickle. So, I'm going to take Axel over here. I'm going to take everyone over, because there are a few little bits I want them to finish up over here, specifically mining these out and collecting these resources. So, I am going to drop off you here. Boop. And then I'm going to get you out of there. And then you're going to pick that up. In the meantime, you're going to go off and do... No, you're not. You're going to go off and do something productive with your day. And then we'll bring this back, and we'll get a couple more people to arrive. There's not a lot of flat Earth here, is there? So, and that's not a joke. Let's let's get somebody else. I don't know. Docs, you'd be a good one. You're a geologist. You can sniff out some crystals. Yes, indeed. So I'll take him across as... What in the name of Bluebeard's buttocks are you doing, madam? Kindly... Something a bit freaky-deaky experience is going on over here. Right, how the hell do I drop this thing? With difficulty. That's not the button that I meant to press. I can't get back in this thing because it's too far away. Oh, bloomin' hell. Right, let's try this again. How do I drop my bucket? Nope, that's how I drop my resources. There's got to be a button for... It's got a horn! Nobody told me of this! I had no idea this thing had a horn. That's amazing. Beep, beep! Get out of my way! Oh, come here. I can't pick you up if you keep scampering around. Oh my word, this is the best thing ever. I love it. It's got a horn. Whoever heard of an aircraft with a horn? Oh, never mind. I clearly can't figure this out. Okay, right, there we are. We've done a little bit of mining out and we're getting started over here. That's marvellous, because I'm clearly not prepared to achieve anything on this side of the river. And you're coming over here to help him build. That is kind of you, although slightly not necessary. Alright, let's get the hell on with the most important things, which I think are going to be, yeah, these sorts of few bits here. There we are. And he's not going to have to build exclusively on his own, because the tunnel transport will help a little bit, as much as having the guy in the truck would help also. So I'm going to try and do that again. I'm not wholly sure why he's being so disobedient. Oh, of course, he can get the ore straight out of this tool store, even though it's been deposited in that one, which is pretty fun and cool and nice, and I like it. I don't like the fact that there's nothing left for anybody to do. But never mind, you can't have everything life. Hey, there's something for you to do. It's not a great deal, but it's something. Alright, I need to get the tunnel transport to actually successfully pick up a vehicle again. Maybe it was just the fact that everything was moving around too quickly, and it just wanted to slow down a little bit. Alright, we figured it out. And I just had to sit down, shut up and think for 5 seconds, and suddenly my life wasn't quite such an unmitigated disaster. Right. As soon as we've got this base up and running, I want to beam up what we've got going on this side, and then bring it home. No, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm the captain. The captain must leave last. That's how evacuations go, I think. Right. I don't have nearly enough crystals to bring down a truck for everyone, so I'm afraid, Bandit, that your trucking career is going to come to an end very quickly. But hey ho, we've got the support station going, which is marvellous. And Axel can't have any sandwiches, despite the fact that there are literally sandwiches right there. He can't have any because what the hell are you doing to Bandit's head? He doesn't actually seem to have a head anymore. He just seems to be being probed in the in the chest cavity. All right, fair enough. That's a bit weird, but what in this wacky little world of ours isn't? Right, let's carry this on. Right, I presume that's meant to be there to reference the tractor beam, the magnet, as it actually was in the actual set. Right, let's take no, let's not take the Brickstar, because the Brickstar is a felon, and as far as I'm concerned, yeah, we need to what the hell is going on? I think Jet possibly disapproves of my leaving the felons to leaving the felons to die in the fire, and taking the innocent first. But we shan't worry about it. All right. There were any for crystals, and there aren't any because I've used them to make trucks. Because I'm a doof. Oh god, I am so grateful that I'm a complete muppet. Right, yes, if you'd just like to just deposit those somewhere so that you're picking them up is a complete waste of everybody's afternoon, then we can carry on trying to ferry a few more people. This is so inefficient. It would be so much more efficient. Alright, we'll take one more person across, and then I'm afraid I'm getting bored of chivalry, right, and actually caring about people's feelings. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go straight back to being mean to people. Right. Yes, you could take those 2 pieces of ore and deposit them there, but there really isn't much point because they're just going to go straight back onto the other side of the river. We need to find some crystals because we need to power this power station, and more specifically the... There we are, thank goodness for that. We need to power the support station, otherwise we can't beam up what we've got going on over there. I mean, saying that, there isn't really that much need for me to evacuate this area. I could probably just sort of walk out on my own and just leave 1 or 2 people here to manage things, so we might actually be alright. We're not going to be alright if we can't find any more ready crystals. I'm going to be on some of these trucks in there. There we go, right. Marvellous, that's going to make life a lot better. So I'm now thinking if it might be a good idea to mine out that bit of rock that we saw over there, which I think is exactly what I'm going to do if I can scrounge up enough crystals. So I want to get a little digger. There we are, and I can get a little digger. Not enough resources! Oh, because they're all being used to power things, aren't they? Oh my derp. We didn't need a video game to help me figure that out, but here we are. There we are. I'll put the convicted felon in there just for the joy of it all. And now I will carry him over the lava. Oh, golly. Oh, wait, no, it hasn't broken through the path. It just looks like it has because for some reason the animation's a bit screwy. So I will pick up the little drilling machine and take him over here. There's nowhere else that we could break through here, is there? It would not appear that the answer to that question is entirely positive. So if I pop you down here, and then let Jet go on with whatever the hell she fancies, then we can dig through here and possibly break our way through on the other side, and then that would give the other people left on this side of the river something to do, other than just standing around and reversing into magma. That is not a maximally sensible thing to do. Right, let's just have a look at the old radar on, radar off, and see what we find. I sincerely hope that no monsters spawn out of these walls while we're here, because one Brickster with a gun and no hat is not going to be able to defend these crystals from the villainous beasts that will undoubtedly wish to devour them. So, sheesh, I would have liked to do each episode in half an hour, or each level in half an hour, but that's never going to happen, is it? I just need to surrender. Just need to surrender to the reality of my situation. Right, okay, good. Another energy crystal. In fact, possibly 2, actually. Yes, indeed. Marvellous. And we will break through there. Yeah, I think we'll break through on the other side as well. So, in fact, you stop that. I want to break through here and go through these 2 walls here, because then that will connect up and allow access to the rest of the people to pop in, and then they can help and And these guys can all stand around doing the grand total of jack. Marvellous. Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous. Right, at least this side of the river should be safe. Not safe from screwed frame rates. Frame always seems to be a bit screwed whenever smoke. What it is about smoke in video games? It always seems to be frame rate's bane. The alternative name for smoke. Right, if you busted through there, yes you have. Marvellous, and someone's come along and pinched half your crystals. Hopefully it was Jet and not some villainous cad. And then... Could we break through here as well, actually? I think... Yes we could, because if we took that seam down, then that would go with it. So, there we are. That's given us access to here. And undoubtedly people are going to arrive and immediately go back for sandwiches, because that's just how the world works. I don't know why I ever tried to look at people's status when they're moving, because I never, ever get it. Hopefully that's over on that side. Let us have a look. Let us have a peek. Possibly not. No, I actually can't see anything of interest going on over here other than the collection of a lot of ore. The gaps in the... or the width of the river is slightly too large, isn't it? Both for the sake of me jumping someone across yellow, even that's two squares wide, 2 units of distance wide, which is a little unfortunate. Partly because a jumping vehicle like a hover scout or a whatever the hell it's called. That's not hard rock, is it? No, good. Or a granite grinder might be able to jump over, and if we could find a piece of water that's just 1 piece wide and has water on the other sides, then we could try again with that whole bridge building thing that we were experimenting with before. There's an interesting couple of comments about that as well, sort of discussing it, trying to figure out exactly whether it works, or how it works even, and whether it's exclusive to that New Zealand custom level that I was playing, or whether it is a thing that's available in the wider game. I'm not sure exactly how many opportunities anybody would have to test it. So, can I be bothered with all this ore? No. No, I can't. I can't be asked. Right, let's get rid of all this. All of this, please. And we'll get rid of this as well, just so that things are tidy. And then I'm going to realise this is going to take forever to clean up, because... Oh, and they now don't have... Anyway, I really should have fed them before that, but never mind. I am an idiot. And now I haven't upgraded any of these things, and we can't actually build anything, because all of the buildings that are... Because we don't have a... We don't have one of these. Oh my word, the fact that we could go straight in to producing the support station was lovely, because we'd already done all the hard work over there. So I apologise for being a cretin and completely forgetting that it was necessary to carry on with that. Right, give me one of these and we'll pop there. Marvellous. And then I'll probably make an upgrade station and maybe bring down another super teleport pad, because it would be nice to get a little bit more industrious around here. And I should probably mend that now that I think about it. Yeah, this is going to take for frickin' ever. And instead of the tunnel transport using the 2 pieces of ore which it is currently carrying in order to do the repairs, which it is about 5 meters away from, 2 little cheeky Charlies over here are going to carry them in from about 17 miles away. You'll pardon me if I think there's a minor inefficiency there. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Never mind. It doesn't matter. It's not important. It's just another symptom of me being a moron. Sorry about that. Right, this base is slightly messy and I don't mahusively like it. Could I build here? Yes, I could. Good, because I want to build an upgrade station, I think, because I want to upgrade these trucks, because they ain't moving fast enough. I know Axel would approve, even though I've actually booted him out of a truck, and and I'm sure he's not overly chuffed about that. But this side is pretty much strip mined at this point, with the exception of this lava here, which presumably isn't eroding because there's a little whatever you call this, ramp, hill, incline bit that goes up. There we are. Technical termage, technical wordology for you there, which does seem to stop lava in its tracks, at least most of the time. So yeah, if we can upgrade the trucks, that should free up some sort of foot traffic in order to focus on mining, which will be a little bit more important. We've got heaps and heaps and heaps of ore, so we might as well use some of the ruddy stuff. So let me do a few little upgrades. There we are. Bigger bucket, or extra bucket I suppose I should say. The size of the ruddy thing is exactly the same, Phil. And put on an engine. There we are. And bust our way through here. Marvellous. So, I mean, it's more walls to dig, so that's tremendous. Yeah, now I should probably get a large this. Can't think of words today, and I'm not entirely sure why. Possibly because I can't think of words even on the best of days, and this certainly isn't that. I think I've had about enough of you lot, without wanting to be cruel. So, you can go, and you can go, and you can go, and you can go as well. There we are. They can all vanish. And you lot can be left here to your lives with the lava. I guess I'll leave that there. I guess, you know, feed upgrades and stuff. Right, how many peeps have I got now? I've only got 6. So if I come down here and I stare at this one, then they should beam down here. And they should be my people as well. I have a horrible feeling they're not. No, they might be. It's hooray! We did it! I'm glad this still works, because if it didn't, I'd be screwed. Right, how many people is that? 10. Marvellous. Oh, of course, they've all lost their stuff, haven't they? Right, let's give them all guns again, and then we can carry on with our lives. Right, more specifically, taking the life away from these rocks. I know rocks aren't typically alive, but we do seem to be on a planet where they can come to life, eat things, and murder other things. So I think it is vaguely reasonable to consider all rocks alive, which would probably give me more qualms about destroying them with large drills. But I have none. I have absolutely none whatsoever. So I was going to say, let's have a look around and see what's on the far side of these walls. Of course, we can't see. We can't see, not even a little bit, because no one's actually been anywhere, have they? So that is not going to help enormously. But as soon as we've got this up and running, which now we've got, I would say that actually we've got loads of crystals in stock, so I don't know really what I'm worrying about. But build a super teleport pad and then get... I'm going to go for the granite grinder actually rather than the large mobile laser cutter, because I'm always using the large mobile laser cutter recently, and we don't need it because we don't need to go across the lava, so I don't think there's an awful lot of benefit in having it. This building requires power. It's got power. For sake, bloody national grid or something, I don't know. That's seriously what people are complaining about when they go around and writing things on signs. People write strange things on signs, don't they? I don't understand people that write signs, unless you're a sign writer, in which case I do understand, because I understand the desire to, you know, not starve to death. Right, never mind none of that rubbish. Let's finish upgrading you, and then I think we will set a bit of tracking. There we are. And then, if I can remember the ruddy buttons, there we are, with my cool purple things, which are also more blue than they are, but don't worry about that, Phil. Right. Do this and have more smoke, which will undoubtedly destroy the frame rate, almost as much as I'm destroying these walls, almost as much as I'm having to operate entirely off the radar and not at all off the actual view. I remember I was going to say the other day, I remember about 6 weeks ago, whenever the hell it was I did the last video on this, I apologise, it's been a while. Yes, we found that the large mobile laser cutter has an absolutely impossible first-person view. So here's another absolutely impossible first-person view, and this will immerse me in even more... This is not exactly maximally excellent. Now I slightly remember why the large mobile laser cutter was so ready useful. You really do think that we'd be able to use these drills for you know, for drilling rocks, be them animate or inanimate? Let's carry on with life. That was slightly humiliating, but hey ho, at least I remember to give people guns, so I'm getting better. Pathetically slowly, but I am getting better. Although I would quite severely struggle to get any bloody worse, wouldn't I? Ahem. Trouble with monsters appearing is that I have absolutely no idea what I was talking about because I panicked so much that I've completely lost my train of thought. Never mind. This gives us access to this area, which is lovely because it means I don't need to faff around with the tunnel transport. I can just leave that to its own devices. I can continue to hiccup. I do sincerely apologise. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I do remember one thing that I was saying before. This probably isn't the main topic, but hey ho. If you've got this far in the series, you're probably not too fussy about me going off on tangents, given it's all I bloody do in this game. No, I was apologising for it being quite a long time after the last video that we did, or that we're doing this video. These videos informally supposed to be about 4 weeks apart, but it's obviously been a bit longer since the last one, and I do apologise for that. I was planning on recording this more immediately some weeks ago, but I got a horrific throat infection that threw me off my I'm trying to think of a word, and I can't think of one, and the only one I can think of which is vaguely appropriate is mojo, but that's not a word that I particularly like using because it reminds me of a really irritating YouTube channel that either used to exist or still does exist, or goodness only knows. But it's the word I've said now, so we're sticking with it. Would you carry on with what you're doing and leave that for somebody? Oh dear. Oh, everyone's 100 blooming miles away. Please. Oh, yeah, thank you. You are going to save the day, and that crystal more specifically. Right, yes, this is a problem, because the monsters spawn, and then everyone's about 500 miles away. Right, and he's going to run really fast, because he's got loads of rubble to walk over. Oh dear. Okay, well again, that crystal has been sorted out, so that's alright. Would you stop going that way? Thank you. I do want to get rid of those, but that's not the point. Stop it! Screwing me over. Oddly, they don't seem to be appearing out of here, which is a bit weird if you ask me, but yes, I got a horrible throat infection, and then I realised that it was the 22nd of December, and that I had not made a Christmas video, and I had not made any preparations for a Christmas video, and normally I like to do a fair amount of preparation for those videos, because I like to very carefully comb my way through each show in order to try and find a couple of interesting and decent games to, oh no, I've done it again like a Derposaurus Rex! I am trading this thing in for a large mobile laser cutter immediately, and there's 3 of the infernal creatures. Where's the other one? I do like that when you come up here it suddenly becomes a lot quieter. That's quite a serene. My goodness, some sort of freaking Congo I'm going here. Where's the 3rd one, for crying out loud? Oh, there he is. This is not good. This is niente excellent. Now, this is a problem. I did notice. Now, if you two would be ever so kind as to do a little bit more shooting, I'd be grateful. Right, there we are. Okay, and it looks like this situation has been dealt with as well. Good job, men! You've all earned your sandwiches today. Never mind earning your stripes. This is earn your sandwiches. I am so bloody stupid. Yes, including this one that we dragged out of someone's stomach. Right, what building was that? What building was that? Oh, they didn't destroy a bit. Right, I thought there was a building there, and I was about to get confused and say, but surely would that piece be a square piece instead of a hexagonal piece? Yes. Yes, Phil, it would. Because of course it would. Because again, I'm a moron. Never mind. I've got a spanner, which is appropriate, because I am a bit of a spanner, aren't I? Right, shall we upgrade that, and then bring down one of these things again? I'm sorry to be most... Oh, for crying out. From where? From there, right. The pair of them are spannerizing, are they? Marvellous, right. Let's see if I can stop screwing everything up immediately. Let's see if I can actually help matters for once, instead of being a sheer ruddy hindrance. There we are. Marvellous. Just fish it out from his intestines and then we'll carry on with our life. Right, I'm going to get rid of this bit of wall next, because this seems to be rather a significant source of monsters. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. You know what I've actually realised? This terrain upgrade thing, I've always assumed that it's only lava, because I think in some text describing the Basmod campaign it says, yes, the large mobile laser cutter can drive on lava, but can it also drive on water, do you think? Is that a thing, or am I just making up rubbish? Nope, it can't drive on water, it can just do lava. Ah, right, of course, because driving over water would be silly, but driving over lava makes much more sense. Oh good, and now I've given it these grey wheels that throw off the colour balance and make it too pale. Never mind. At least it matches me then. A bit too pale and thoroughly off balance, and I'm having another freaking seizure, would you stop doing that? Dear. Right, how do I, damn it, there we go. Right, let's carry on with this. I'm sorry. I don't know why my brain doesn't work. I don't get up in the morning and think, gee willikers, how can I be the stupidest man alive today? It just sort of happens. Right, let's carry off in this direction. Goodness knows how long it's going to take us to sort out everything over there, and all that as well. It's a blooming big level, isn't it? Speaking of, for that reason, I might bring down a few more, again, with the ruddy frame rate. I said ages ago I was going to get a new computer in order to fix the frame rate, and then I never did. Oh dear. Right. Yes, if you get in there, no need to upgrade that, because of course we can't upgrade it. And then everyone that could drive this thing is about 500 miles away. People seem to be falling over spiders. Right, never mind that. I'm sure someone will arrive there eventually. Let's drill out a few things in the hope that we can find the home of those vicious beasts that ran around, humiliated me utterly, and burn them to the ground with the power of laser beams. Right. Yeah, because this is what I want. I want like the quick little trucks that can just dart in, grab the crystals, and leave. That is exactly what I want. In fact, what I might... I was going to say what I might do is turn off ore collection, but that's always a dangerous thing to do, because... Oh. That's interesting. I didn't realise this was going to bring us over here. Which means, strictly speaking, if we left it long enough, the lava might actually be able to crawl all the way back over to my other base, and thus I've just made going across the river completely pointless, other than buying me more time. Mind you, the lava doesn't actually seem to be that fast these days, so maybe it's not something that I need to worry about in too much detail. Although, saying that, didn't I put the lava loomingness up a bit? I don't know. Yeah, the erosion rate's up by 25%. Still seems very slow if you ask me. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining in the slightest, because if you ask me, there's more than enough danger here already. But yes, it's a little strange. Okay, right, that's the end of that. So that's everything on this side. Marvellous, and they've got at least a shorter shorter journey to go, which is lovely. So now I'm going to bring him over here, and we'll carry on in this direction. In the meantime, I'm going to upgrade you. I'm going to get rid of that as well, because it keeps making me think that someone's dying. And then I'm going to stop facing the camera directly down, because it sets off my severe fear of heights. Which I'm going to describe as a fear and not a phobia, because having a fear of heights is completely rational, right? Having a fear of heights is rational, because heights are things that you can fall from, and it hurts. So I don't think that that is a phobia, because a phobia is by definition irrational. But I suppose you could describe it as being irrational because I can't actually fall from here because it's just a video game. But what do I know? Right, what I do know is there's some more water over here, isn't there? If I move the frostrum, as I think this is described, which is one of those wonderful words to say. Where is my... Here we are, this will be it, because it's moving so slowly. Stop it. Stop it! Stop it! Crying out loud. There we are. Excellent. Now let us carry on with a bit of destruction. I keep noticing the edge of that solid rock out of the corner of my eye, right there, and it keeps throwing me off, and that was a really stupid thing to do, because now there's loads of walls around here, and it's far too far away. Oh dear. This is not a good start, but hopefully it's not the, hopefully it's not the end. Oh dear, there's so many walls. And somehow, the thing is I want to mine the walls out, because I want to get rid of the spawn points, essentially, which... Crying out loud, I can't reverse this ruddy thing. On the one hand, I want to get rid of the spawn points for the monsters. On the other hand, the more spawn points I get rid of, A, the more I end up revealing, and B, the more crystals. Would you get out of the bloody way? Thank you. Is the only way to damage a tunnel transport with a laser? Is there actually any other way of it getting damaged? It does a fair amount of damage, in fairness. Can you still go and get mended by this, even though you'll be far too high up? Yes. Yes, you can. That makes no sense. But hey-ho, the tunnel transport was not designed for this, in the sense of it wasn't designed to be a playable thing in the game, so naturally the buildings and such like weren't really designed to work in tandem with it as smoothly as they do with the other vehicles, so you'll have to cut it some slack. Which I'm sure you'll be good at, because if you've got this far through the series, you've undoubtedly cut me a load of slack for being the absolute cretin that I am. So, so I'm sure you'll be quite experienced in that department. Alright, let's just relax for 5 minutes, because this is quite strenuous, and I'm still not entirely over my throat infection. So yes, this is... I need to be mindful of my blood pressure and sort of things that that feeble people say in old films. Dear, oh dear. Oh, I never finished telling you about the plague of my throat infection. Keep on plague of the bloody monsters. Right. Oh look, they're coming out in slightly different colours, like sort of milk chocolate and dark chocolate. Which one do I murder? Probably this one, because he seems to be a man on a mission, a monster on a mission. Right, I don't think he's eaten anything, so he can for crying out. I really should put some fence around here. Well, that's interesting. They can get rocks out of a corner piece. I didn't know they could do that. I thought they had to use a flat piece. I didn't know that. Right, let me just shoot this. It would be kind of cute if you got like a nice bullseye right on the rock that you could... Well, he did bring the rock to the base. He just didn't succeed in actually destroying anything, because he doesn't understand the necessity of preserving motion. Yeah, I'm just going to pop a few pieces hither and thither in the hope of actually setting up a vague line of defence that might keep us safe for a few more seconds. There we are. I don't think anybody's going to be able to come from that direction unless they start spawning ice monsters, which I doubt that they will. I think that's just a custom levels thing where you see crossover between biomes, I suppose. Again, for want of a better word, and I can't find a better word, so I'm just going to have to use a word I'd rather not use. Yeah, it seems to only be in the custom levels where I've seen things like, you know, lava monsters in a rock level or ice monsters in a 3. three. Three of you at the same time. This only seems to be two of you. Where's the other one? I don't know. But that one's dead, and so is that one. Marvellous. Well, the rest of you can just forget about it. I'm not that fussed at the moment, because he should die in the fence. So I'll just leave him to his devices while I try and destroy the possibility of him ever respawning ever again. There we go. Marvellous. Don't operate by muscle memory, Phil. Operate by brain memory. That thing I don't have any of. Right. Yeah, it got really late in December and I realised I didn't have a Christmas video. And I like to prepare for those because Christmas is one of those things where a lot of random indie games get made with a sort of a Christmas tag, and it's not always necessarily the best sign of quality. Sometimes there are a lot of rubbish indie horror games, and that's not to suggest that the indie horror games that have nothing to do with Christmas are specifically less prone to having a few bad apples in the bunch than the pool of games that don't have Christmas tags. But that does seem to be a thing that seems to attract the slightly more crazy, wacky sort of games, which sometimes just don't sort of work, at least not for me anyway, which naturally makes them more difficult to record. I particularly remember that last year when I was trying to run a sort of 12 days of Christmas thing and make a Christmas video every day in the run-up to Christmas. Thank goodness I didn't try to do the whole 24 days like a bloody advent calendar. That would have been an unmitigated disaster. Not that the 12 days of Christmas thing that I tried to do was an unmitigated disaster. It was, but never mind any of that silliness. Looks like there's some stuff here that we could mine out, except I'm not actually going to be able to get over there in this. I'm just going to have to mine it and leave it. If you wanted laser eye surgery, you could have just asked. You didn't need to leap in front of my gun before I shot it. But never mind. I think that's everything on this side, so I'm going to get a tunnel transport, this one specifically. I'm going to have it pick up its attacker, actually, and take it over here and see what we can find on the far side of here. I do notice there's this funny little groovy divot here, which I do not talk in 20th century slang. So let me pop you there. There we go. And then you can carry on with the rest of your life. Or just be miserable and don't do anything at all. Yeah, that works too. Anyway, to carry on with my boring story that no one cares about. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to make I wanted to make this video earlier, but I couldn't because I was busy doing the Christmas thing, which I didn't do very well because I was so horrifically ill at the time. But that's just how the wintry season goes. Dear oh dear oh dear. So it doesn't actually look like there's anywhere to go here in terms of like new caverns. There might be actually, because look, there's something here, isn't there? Yeah, there's an inch crystal seams. There must be a way of accessing that, possibly via the groovy divot with which we previously mentioned. This video is going to end up being 2 hours as well, isn't it? Because hot stuff is not going to go quickly. Oh dear, oh dear. And if you'd get your ass out the way for 5 minutes, Sparks, thank you very much. This is going to be tricky because if monsters spawn, there's going to be nobody to do any fighting except for me. And if there's a war, and the only person in your army is me, my advice would be start drafting a document of surrender quickly. Because you're not going to do frightfully well with any me on your side. Right, maybe if I sort of aim down a little bit, I can sort of shoot underneath. Maybe that would work. Get your great gargantuan bum out the way. There we are. Oh, interesting. Oh, so it all does sort of link up in the end. That's kind of cute. And if this if this passageway here links up to wherever the hell we saw that energy crystal scene, here it is. Yeah, I think it's very reasonable that these two could link up. Then yeah, the entire area is one interconnected landmass rather than being cut off by rivers. I suppose they did describe it as a lake, didn't they? They didn't describe it as a river, so it would make some semblance of sense. If we bring it through here as well, we should be able to bring the trucks in. Also, that will speed things up just a tad. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, I'm still not entirely recovered from my throat infection. My nose is still a bit stuffy, but my throat is back to normal, so hopefully at least I don't sound entirely like a cat drowning in soot, as I typically do when I am a little bit under the weather. So we can bust through here. I don't imagine there will be very much here of interest or excitement, but we'll have a look at it anyway. Boop. And boop. Okay, quite a few more crystals actually than I was expecting, so that's lovely. Let's send you home again, and we'll have a little spy at how the lava's getting on. Really not as tremendously as I would expect. I was going to make hot stuff interesting, because... Let me find something for us to look at. There we are. Now we can see when these last few crystals get taken home. Not by you two. We're going to be here all blooming day. No, the best would be somebody with a pair of wheels to collect those crystals, my small friends. As much as I love you, come back here, you great Goososaurus Rex. You people have got to learn about efficiency, seriously. We do not have the time to sit around watching you lot just meander these crystals back. We've got a schedule to keep. I think those are the last two crystals, and it strikes me I'm going to have to beam some stuff up, because I've actually used so many crystals to make random stuff that I'm not actually going to be able to reach 180, so I have to beam up a few little bits and bobs in the hopes of us actually getting to 180. No. The slow lava is going to make hot stuff interesting because, of course, you start at one end of the cavern, and then at the far end of the cavern is more crystals, which you want to go and get, but then there's the lava proceeding from the other direction, and of course the monsters in the middle, which means it's very dangerous to move away from your starting point. So, someone get that one, please. Preferably somebody that's not 12 kilometres away. Thank you. And I think we can carry on with this. There we are. Sorry to interrupt your sandwich, Axel. I sincerely apologise. Do you think you can eat a sandwich while being teleported?
Managed to evacuate safely and collect all 35 energy.
Yes.
Good job. Mission
Mainly because the lava was being very lazy and lethargic. Right, we got through
fire
that.
and water.
Indeed.
Back to basics.
What does the little drill icon represent? Most caverns discovered in the hovered level. Right. Wouldn't it make more sense if that was a fraction? Mind you, the crystals would make more sense as a fraction as well, but we won't worry about it. Right. Yes, we've got to do this one next.
Hot stuff.
With this teasing little image here. If you don't remember this, I probably described this when we did the when we did the main campaign, because I think that used the same picture, didn't it? Yes, it did. Why is that one not there? And why is this only on 6? Oh, it's all pre 1.0 stuff, isn't it?
Rock on.
That's also why it didn't have Basmod unlocked, because of course I hadn't completed the standard campaign. That's why I remember now. That's weird. Why is that? I don't know why Lake of Fire was locked off like that, but never mind. Bloody hell. Yes, this picture here. I probably talked about this in the standard campaign, but goodness knows that was probably about 12 years ago now, so I might as well tell you again. Or remind you, as I'm sure if you're familiar with the original game, that you will know what this image is.
Hot stuff.
This image is a little bit of a tease. So, remember what I was saying about you starting at one end of the cavern, there being loads of lava at the other end and loads of monsters in the middle. Well, near the end, on the sort of the left-hand side, I think, if you're sort of facing from the direction that you start in, there's one crystal lying on the floor. Right there. Which, much like the few bits of rubble that are at the far end of the map in Air Raiders, wherever that is, probably here,
Air Raiders!
Indeed. The AI of the original Rock Raiders would love, absolutely love, to just go off and do one tiny job that was about 15 miles away. So you'd randomly have people just wandering off down the corridors, or down the caverns, I should say, in order to collect this one crystal here, which A, would take them away from the vitally important work they're already doing, like building a support station so they can blooming breathe, and it also meant that they'd walk past all of the monsters and wake them all up, and because they were being woken up instead of spawning, you didn't get a monster has appeared prompt in order to warn you, and then they would just walk down the cavern behind your raider and would then destroy your base and bollock everything to high heaven, all because of this one ruddy crystal, and because in air raiders of a few bits of ruddy rubble. But never mind any of that, it's not important, it's just a little bit of a tease. But never mind. Yes, we'll do hot stuff next. I will take a quick little break and get myself a cup of cocoa, as it's rather chilly in here. Even though I'm probably going to appreciate it being cold once we get to another lava-licious level. I also have a horrible feeling that for the sake of the humour of it, I'm going to kick the lava spawn rate up a bit. And by spawn, I mean erosion rate, but we'll see about that in a wee minute. Ah, that's better. Oh, I have got a new cup for drinking my cocoa from. It has got a little bee on it. Like bees, I think they're cute. Right, sorry. I'll actually carry on with what I'm supposed to be doing now.
Okay, Rock Raider, this mission is very dangerous, so listen carefully. We have discovered an area rich in energy crystals and ore. We need you to establish the Rock Raider HQ and begin mining. We need to collect 45 energy crystals. Warning, the location is dangerously close to the base of a volcano, so great care must be taken to avoid bridging any lava flows in and around the cavern. Good luck, Rock Raider.
This is a testament to how rarely I played Hot Stuff. I have no memory of them ever mentioning a volcano before. Oh dear, that's a lot. How many bloody crystals are they going to ask me to collect in Rocky Horror? I dread to frickin' think. Right, before we get going, let's have a little bit more of this. Right, steel yourself. This is going to go badly. What was that I said about putting the erosion rate up? Oh, Gideon. Well, I'm a man of my word, even if I'm not a man that can remember where the things are. Not massively up, just a little bit up. There we are, that will do. Right, time to bring some people down. Oh, I shouldn't say there's the crystal. No, where's the crystal would be a better thing to say. The lava starting a bit further up last time, oh gosh, don't you go off and clear that rubble. Don't you do that. Yes. I'm very curious to see what's in here, because in the original formation of the level, you made an absolute bloody beeline for that, if you want to. a beeline! A beeline! Crying out loud, is that really the most I can hope to achieve on this channel? Right, no, you might make a beeline for that seam, as if I remember correctly, if you busted through it, there were an absolute buttload of crystals in there, like 20 or something, which was an absolute marvellous nest egg, if you like, in order to start out with. But of course the lava would erode very quickly, and you had to get past these monsters before you even had a chance of getting near it. So it was important to race over there and get it as quick as you could if that was something that you wanted to do, for the sake of getting those crystals before the lava got there, because once the lava was around it, you were basically screwed at that point, because there would have been pretty much no way to get it. I guess you could set up like a mining laser nearby, or use a laser cannon to shoot over the lava, but then how would you actually get there in order to collect the crystals? You probably couldn't at that stage. It's difficult to remember exactly what was and what wasn't possible. back in those days and back at those stages. I should really give people guns, now that I think about it. That would probably be a wise thing to do, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm very curious to see what is in here, if that's being maintained or if that's not being maintained. I'm not going to worry too much about the lava because it is relatively far away and it is not moving too quickly. Obviously I've popped it up a little bit, but not too terribly much. I think I'm going to sort of, I was going to say I'm going to build in this corner, but then it's not completely a corner, is it? I'm going to try and build here. I want to build quite a compact base as much as I can, because of course I want to set up a ring of fence and keep it quite defensible. So I'm sure that's going to go tremendously for me, but let me pop that down there. This is going to be really rather tense, and I realise that having this to hand is not going to go tremendously well in this level, because I did remember to turn the recording on, didn't I? Yes, good, excellent. I wouldn't like to think that I've made an absolute prat of myself without anyone bloody noticing. Yeah, back in the earlier parts of the series, when we had the more lackadaisical levels going on, it was easier for me to sip while we played, because of course I didn't need to suddenly grab the keyboard and start doing things. And if I do suddenly do that, I'm going to drop some very hot chocolate all over my lap, and that's going to be an absolute disaster. So I better finish it quickly. But yes, this level could prove to be quite difficult, or due to the slowness of the lava, this could prove to be not too difficult at all. But we will see how it goes. We're doing alright for resources, actually. They're being relatively generous with the crystals. Mind you, we did blow out a seam there, and this place is rutty full of seams. This is a place that is rich in energy crystal seams. This is definitely the sort of place that you want to... I was going to say it's definitely the sort of place that you want to come. No, it's not, because it's full of monsters and magma and mayhem and muppets. Other than that, it is a absolute delight. Once we've done that, I want to build a support station. I'm going to build it here for the sake of, again, keeping it tidy and making the base as small as I possibly can, and then I'll probably try and run some path. Run some fence even sort of around the exterior of it. Although saying that, I probably want to build some other buildings first, don't I? Like maybe an upgrade station, super teleport pad. That would probably be quite wise. Oh, the ore refinery. In a rather fierce battle for the least used building ever, next to the geological centre, poor old geological centre, and ore refinery. They never got fully implemented. I do wonder if they were perhaps planning on using the ore refinery for more, perhaps making it the very big, like the biggest building, something like maybe the super teleport pad or something, because I suppose the only thing that is pretty much bigger than that, you could only build with studs instead of building it with ore, like it's some sort of advanced technology, or maybe like some of the large vehicles, for example, you could only construct those with studs instead of constructing them with ore, because you need a sort of more refined material. I don't know, I'm just sort of making it up as I go. That's pretty much all I've ever done on this channel, but hey ho, here we are. I might pop it there if I can. Yeah, I think I can get away with that. I don't know what's on the far side of here, and I'm slightly scared to find out. Probably more rivers of frickin' lava. But if I pop it there, then that should keep the base relatively narrow and hopefully more defensible. So let's pop that there, and then let's have a think about fence. Maybe put like a piece there and a piece there. Maybe just sort of cut straight across here. Maybe that would be wise. Yeah, just sort of come straight across it and literally just do a great big strip along there in order to defend ourselves. That would likely be sensible. Yeah, it's progressing a bit faster now. Actually, this is a little bit more like what it used to do back in olden times. Bloody hell! I wonder what's through there. Either absolutely nothing, just to be a great big middle finger up to the attempt to actually get anywhere in this accursed level, or something interesting and exotic. We'll have to wait and see what Baz has decided to do with this little level. strikes me actually I should probably you know I should probably actually reference what I was talking about before and actually say yes, I hope you had a nice Christmas or a nice holiday season or a nice day off work or whatever it was that you had or you got or you celebrate or you didn't celebrate or you haven't celebrated yet or you've already celebrated before or whatever the hell it was that you did, because we can't just say Happy Christmas anymore because apparently that's, I don't know, going to make people's heads explode. Yes, I hope you had a marvellous one. Whatever it was that you had, I hope that it was really rather nice, and that you had a nice time and ate nice food and had a nice warm day, or a nice cool air-conditioned day if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, because I can't really imagine what Christmas is like in the Southern Hemisphere, but I imagine it's a lot warmer because of course it comes around in what would be the summer for the Southern Hemisphere, so I imagine it's all really rather different, and there's no sort of big thick coats and gloves and hats and scarves and keeping warm by the fire and cups of hot chocolate and all that sort of thing. I imagine it's all really rather different. And there's no crystals. I was wondering why we weren't making any blooming progress. Right, we're going to have to get some. We can probably mine this out safely. We could go a bit further afield, sort of over here, but I don't want a chance spawning any monsters. So I think we'll stick with this one for the time being, and then I'm not going to have anything in order to bring down any vehicles, am I? Oh, this is going to go badly. Never mind, I'm going to have to get rid of a couple of monsters. Although saying that, we're terribly far from here. I feel like what I would have done if I was Baz is I would have specially designed this wall that when it collapses about 15 monsters spawn in order to punish you. I think that's a sort of crafty thing that I might have done if I'd only been intelligent enough, and what perhaps Baz has done. So that could go really rather badly really rather quickly, and we might have to put the whole idea to bed. But never mind, that's going to be popped in there, and then we'll be good to go. And then I'm going to set up the perimeter of fence, which is blooming long, but hey ho. And we've actually got air now, haven't we? So I really should have brought down 3 more people, and I haven't thought to do so, but hey, you can see 3 people coming down at the same time because we've actually got 3 little teleport pads. Isn't that adorable? How very efficient. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I do find myself wondering actually if when I've got all this fence set up, it might be a good strategy to actually just trigger a couple of monsters.
Ready to take your orders.
This is going to go so freaking badly, but I'm going to try anyway. Hello. Oh goodness, you can see a lot more than my little hands. You can also see all of my bodice, but sorry about that. So I didn't see a spider there, but never mind. Yeah, what I'm going to try doing is activating a monster, which in first person is going to be pretty bloody intimidating. The fence is working, isn't it? Yeah, it seems to be zapping. Marvellous. Excuse me, do you have a few minutes? My giddy aunt. That would be a nice thumbnail if we hadn't had far too many thumbnails of lava monsters recently. But, he'd better die in one hit of the fence, otherwise this is going to go tremendously badly, tremendously quickly, and he's going to throw something. Oh golly. He's probably going to throw about here, I'd guess. He's going to throw far too quickly, he's going to throw far too far, and he's going to cause me all the problems in the history of the universe. If all the problems in the history of the universe were shaped like a minor inconvenience in a video game. Ahem. Forgive my hyperbole. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Speaking of putting things to bed, actually, that frightened me a bit. As I mentioned earlier, where are you going? What crystal are you going to get, friend? Are you going all the way around there? Oh, you are, because you can't get through here. Oh my word. Right. Should I have set this fence a bit further out, actually? I probably should have, shouldn't I? Because yeah, if the monsters are going to chuck stuff, then that fence isn't going to be quite as as well designed as I'd like it to be. So I guess I could set up like a secondary layer of it a little bit further back, which would probably be quite sensible. And because it's quite sensible, I'm probably not going to end up doing it. But no, I am. It's going to look a bit messy, and for that I apologise. It's going to look like some sort of freaking grid going on here, like a bloody Sudoku. But don't worry about that. Let me just drill through there for the sake of opening. Don't you frickin' dare. Never seen a slug hole in the on a piece of lava flooring before. Piece of lava flooring, you make it sound like I'm designing the floor of a frickin' bathroom. I've never seen it on the lava ground texture before, right? I've only seen it in on the rock levels. Although some part of the back of my brain is saying I've seen it on the ice ones as well, although I can't for the life of me think where that would be outside of a custom level, which doesn't really count. Alright, we are very short on crystals. So I'm going to do something disastrously stupid and do that thing that I said I wasn't going to do. Which just goes to show that I am not a man of my word, as I attempted to say before. A really good way of doing the fence, I think, would be to have two layers of it, a bit like we've had here, but to have them sort of with a certain displacement, so like going in between each two lines. That way they wouldn't interconnect with each other. And if you could set it up to a completely different building than what this layer is, like if you had a piece of, like if you had a building there, if you had a building there, for example, and then you had like a second layer of fence going through the middle here, that might allow you to have two completely separate layers, i.e. when the first set gets set off, then you don't have to wait for the cooldown on that to reset before the second set can go, giving you a more robust chance of survival. So, oh dear. Right. Come here, Axel. I've got a very ever so slightly terrifying job for you to do. Although actually I'm going to clear this rubble first because I want to I want people to be able to move a little bit faster. So yeah, I'm going to clear this as quick as I can, so that yeah, people can transition left and right here a bit faster. And then we're going to drill through here. I'm going to see what we find. I'm scared of being disappointed by there being nothing in here, and I'm also scared of there being something in here, because if there is, it's going to cause chaos. And here we go. Moment of truth.
Just a sec.
Oh, that was a blooming disappointment. That's not English, but this is okay, right. Yep. I don't know what I bloody expected when I saw that. Well, I expected what happens in every other level is that there just aren't any slugs. I was going to be retreating a lot sooner than before. I don't remember that before. Is that because I've got up to a decent number of crystals? Oh my Gideon, I really don't want to deal with bloody slugs. I really don't want to deal with bloody slugs. Right. Oh, slug off. And they can't. We can't use the we can't use the mining layers in order to defend, because of course the slug is the building has not been finished yet, and it lays destroyed upon the ground like some sort of line in a poem. Right, can I pick this up, please? Here we are. Stupid tidying, tidy. Marvelous. Right. It does strike me this entire base design is going to fall apart as soon as we go through here, which I should probably reinforce actually in case any monsters decide to spawn. Oh dear, this is going to go really very badly indeed, so tremendously quickly. And I never built my upgrade station that I promised you, did I? I do apologise for that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Adding slugs is an interesting touch, because the slugs were The slugs were always a little underutilized. I think would be it would be the general consensus amongst the people who did not feel that the slugs were just an evil demon that needed to be eradicated from the entire universe. I was really rather hoping you default the other direction, actually, instead of defaulting to that one, because now you're just pointing at me, you Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer-looking laser cannon thing. Yeah, what I expected. No, because crying out, I can't get through bloody sentences. Because the slugs only really appeared in Back to Basics, with the exception of Rock Hard, where they sometimes appeared. Okay, so you can make them retreat with 2 hits. That's pretty bloody good, actually. Excuse me. This is gonna go disaster. I'm just scared. I'm scared to go out in the world. I'm gonna put that there, I suppose, because then it won't screw up my design of base, and then I can start upgrading things a little bit. We have enough neat crystals hanging around, have we? No. Tremendous shame that was empty, but never mind. Maybe it was always empty, and it was just my mad dream hallucination world where I thought there were dozens and dozens of crystals in there. I swear there used to be a lot of crystals in there. Presumably, Baz thought A, that would be far too easy, and B, it will be highly amusing to have people scamper over there, full of hope and joy and wonder in their eyes, like children on Christmas morning, only for all of their hopes to be dashed upon the rocks, as we discover that really it was all a great big fib. Let me upgrade this, because goodness knows we've got enough. Bloody hell! Goodness knows we've got enough. We've got enough ore to do it. And here I am sitting here worrying about frame rates again. Right, where's my other little truck gone? All the way over there, retreading the steps of doom and despair. That rhymed and it wasn't even bloody supposed to. I was going to say, oh, you got back quickly. Yeah, because you've been upgraded, and I haven't. Because I'm such a selfless leader that I make sure that all of the rest of my troops are fully upgraded and prepared for battle before I am. Which probably actually isn't a wonderful strategy, because if you lose your general at the start of a fight, you've got nobody to give you any orders. So you probably don't know what the hell it is that you're supposed to do after that. Have we revealed another slimy slughole? We have indeed revealed another slimy slughole. Which sounds more like a euphemism than it has any ready right to. Mainly because it would be absolutely disgusting. Oh dear. I don't know how slugs get it on, and I don't want to know how slugs get it on. I just sincerely hope that I don't have any nightmares about slimy slugholes. Oh dear. I'm frightened. I'm frightened to go anywhere. I'm frightened to do anything. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to, because we're gonna have to go through all sorts of spots. Looks like there's a thing there we could mine out. That would be worth doing. Get a few crystals out of there. Need to get a drilling machine or two, but there's a lot of crystals we need, and not a lot of crystals that we have, because I have managed to only find 24 thus far. Yeah, because I've got all these buildings and these trucks and things, but I haven't got any digging machines. I do wonder if maybe it would be a wise idea to go in sort of this direction, because it looks like there's a lot of dirt here, so that would be easy to get through. And maybe that would have a few crystals in. Again, that seems too easy. I feel like the crystal's going to be on the far side of these bits of hard rock that are over in the distance. But I don't suppose I've got any choice but to try. So let's do some digging and see what we find. Other than another opportunity for me to humiliate myself in front. Just because I take a break in the middle of a doubled up mission for the sake of getting a cup of this does not mean that you have the right to do the same thing with sandwiches, young man. And by young man I mean grizzled 45-year-old. Shan't worry about that. Oh good. No crystals. I was so worried that there might be some crystals there. Yes, I am aware of the fact that I'm screwing up my fence design completely by doing this, but it'd be kind of nice if the fence went on one side rather than in the middle, because it's clearly designed to go in the central bucket on an unupgraded one. So it would be sort of nice if it went on one side or the other side, much like the ore does, to be sort of cognizant of its upgraded nature, rather than just operating in an utterly standard fashion. But hey-ho, only a minor oversight. It's not like most of my videos are absolutely littered with the bloody things. So, yeah, I'm going to keep mining out this area for a little while. The other advantage is that because people are right near the base, they're not spending a long time commuting back and forth trying to... Right! I'm going to test something. I do wish there was like a sort of a second-person mode, or a first-person mode for this even, much like there is for vehicles. I'm going to get him a little bit closer now, because I want to shoot him 3 times and see what happens. I think I know what happens, I want to know. Oh, he becomes invincible. That's curious. I don't think that used to be the case. That's very curious. I think, if I remember correctly, when the slugs were first introduced back before 1.0, you could continue to shoot them. And you could continue to damage them after... You people just don't frickin' learn, do you? And by people, I mean... insects? No, not insects, because insects have 6 legs, don't they? So that wouldn't make any sense. Talk slugs and snails, then they're probably their own special slimy bugs. Can this get over here? Decently, but not perfectly. Oh, good. This is gonna go so well. I'm gonna build another bloody mining tower. Mining lake. You in 5 minutes, you freakazoid. Not that. That's what I wanted to do. Right. Stick your head round a corner, and I'll fix your eyesight. There we are. There's one pupil done. There's the other pupil done. And now he can go and get his driving license back. Tremendous. Adding slugs into this is a nice touch, because it does make it a good bit more difficult. Because, and as I've said before, just having the monsters being asleep does mean that you can have the battle much more on your own terms now that we have AI that actually behaves itself, unlike what we have in real life. From where? Oh, from here. Sorry, I was looking at the there was a landslide going on over there, which was confusing me slightly, because it looked a little bit like a slug, but not enough like a slug to actually convince me that it was a slug. So I was getting a tad befuddled. Never mind. Just you jog on, mate. The fact that the little icon doesn't disappear until they've actually disappeared back down there was a little disturbing. But yeah, I mean, seriously, if we only found 30 crystals, we need 200. Sheesh. This is gonna be a bit long, I'm afraid. So, why did I even bother building this bloody thing? I clearly don't need the damn thing, do I? Oh, for the days. Oh, for the days when you simplistic Muppets could be defeated by just building a circle of teleport pads around a hole. Simpler times. Simpler times. So I don't know why I'm not using this to shoot as though I probably can actually shoot over this, which is positively sensible. But never mind. Oh, there's a monster here. Oh, golly and goodness and gracious me. Right, you finally figured it out. Marvellous. You absolute muppets. I mean, if they weren't such a pain in the arse, they'd be kind of cute. What was I saying ages ago before I went off on about 1,200 different tangents? The slimy slugs are a bit underutilised, weren't they? Oh, for crying aloud. Well, they're getting the usage in this one. Yeah, because they only appeared properly in Back to Basics, and they also, at least sometimes, appeared in. Oh, is it called Rock Hard? The level where you start in like the very narrow sort of little sort of corridor with, I think it's 2 entrance crystal seams and 2 wall seams, and you sort of go out in sort of either direction. in order to work out into like a big set of corridors. I think that's called Rock Hard. I think that could be the one on Boss Mode, getting the names muddled again. That one had slug holes in, and that one was always slightly confusing to me as a child, because most of the time I remember playing it and there not being any slugs in it, and then occasionally slugs would turn up in that level and completely screw everything up, which did make that level always rather hair-raising, because I was never quite sure what it was that set off the slugs, and why sometimes they seemed to appear and sometimes, or most of the time, they didn't. But I think the scarce appearances of slugs went some way to them being so very difficult to deal with in Back to Basics, because of course you get good at doing something by practicing, and if you never encounter something, you have no opportunity to practice. So the fact that the slugs appeared so infrequently meant that when Back to Basics came along, you really had no good opportunity to prepare any strategies, so you just had to learn them all on the spot, which meant that you got to Back to Basics and then you were stuck in Back to Basics until you figured out a bloody good strategy for getting rid of them. I'm going to have to screw up the look of the wheels again, aren't I? Because I am actually going to have to drive over some lava at some point here. Oh dear. I don't like the grey wheels. It makes the vehicle too pale, right? Like, it needs the dark wheels to sort of balance out the wider colour scheme. Otherwise, it does just look too bloody dark. But never mind any of that rubbish. Let's go this way, because that will hopefully sort of connect us up here, and then I can put in the other set of fence. In fact, actually, I might sort of drill in from this direction to speed things up a tad. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and sort of open up both sides, and then we'll just sort of get on with it. And if we fill in the fence on that side, then we should be vaguely well defended. Might end up building a third mining laser actually, although saying that, this one is a little bit further to the left, so it might be able to cover it decently on its own. So, are there any crystals hanging around? I don't think so. Nope. Time to do some murdering. Turn the lights on, because you wouldn't want to get murdered in the dark. It's just out of pest control. Bloody. As I said, pest control. This is what I meant by pest control. I definitely didn't mean shooting the spiders, which I failed at miserably. Crying out loud. I do far better with this, getting rid of spiders. I'm just trying to drive over the little varmints. Right, I'm trying to shoot Jet's thought bubble, and instead just shoot this guy in the face. There we go. That's the end of that problem. Right. Let's there we are, got rid of one properly this time. Let's break our way through here. I'm very grateful for the speak of the devil. Quite literal frickin' devil. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the little audio prompts. I know some people prefer to turn them off, and I can understand some of them, like the landslide has occurred one. I don't, simply because these sounds are the soundtrack to my childhood, quite literally. So just having these sounds on just makes me feel at home, really. But yeah, having the message, particularly for the slugs, is really useful and valuable, because it tells me die. It tells me when I need to stop doing this and carry on with whatever else it is I need to do. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from there. There we are. That's very sneakily placed, isn't it? Because it's actually quite well guarded in order to keep him safe for the first few little strides of his journey. So that's clearly been done with a degree of sense. I don't think there were any slug holes in the original formation of the level. As I said before, I'm 95% sure they only appeared in rock levels. Not making any appearances in lava or ice levels. Possibly, I suppose that might have been to... From where? Oh, from there! You don't say. Wonder if wonder if they could drain power from vehicles. I suppose I doubt it to a certain degree. I'm just going to shoot you. I'm just going to shoot you. Oh yeah, because once they get to 50% they run away, don't they? I always forget that. I always forget that because the monsters don't run away till 20, so the idea of them running away at 50 seems absolutely bananas. But I suppose you could probably modify that with, oh good, there's another freaking hole there. Oh good. I was so worried. Why is there a fly in here? How the hell is there a fly here in December? I just realised it's not a fly, it's a mosquito. Oh great, I have to deal with you later, aren't I? So if there are any pacifists in the audience, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do to deal with him, but deal with him I shall. I don't need any bites on my bum, thank you very much. Oh, where to go from here? I don't know, I'm frightened. I guess I'm going this way. Okay, we've got a lot of problems to deal with, and not an awful lot of solutions. Are they appearing because of the number of crystals I've got? Because I've got to get a hell of a lot more. Which suggests that an awful lot more slugs are going to appear, and we might end up with another back to basics situation going on. Oh dear. Yeah. Let's go back to what I was talking about before. I like how I say that as if you've got much choice in what I say. I'm sure you'd like to have some choice in what I say, because then you say shut up, Phil. But sadly, that's not quite on the verbal agenda. I should have said a verbal menu, because agendas are things that you talk about versus menus are things that you don't. Never mind. Yeah. On the one hand, I'm sort of glad that the slugs were kept so sparse, because it meant that Back to Basics was an immensely difficult level, and thus the slugs were a genuine threat. This is a big problem because these slugs keep spawning at a horrid rate, meaning I don't have time to deal with these monsters. And I've just realised that saying infection stations was a stupid idea, because now everyone's going to try and kill the monsters, aren't they? Oh dear. Except he's conveniently slipped over on a spider, meaning that he doesn't actually have the opportunity to wake up the monster. Marvellous. I'm not that fussed about killing them. They can finish them off if they want, but I'm not... there we go. I'm not that fussy, because I just want to keep everyone safe. Where is he? Where the hell is he? Oh, there he is. Right. See if I can just... Wait. Well, this is a bit of an old problem, isn't it? I am aware of that. They're having a little bit of a problem at the moment. There we are. Shot him right in the arse. Beast. No, don't go off and kill any more monsters. Did he drain a crystal? Probably. Can we dispense a drained crystal? No, that's not a thing you can select. Alright, fair enough. So, no, there isn't. Okay, good. Okay, good. That's enough of that for a second, my giddy aunt. This is not going to make my headache any better if I keep having to go through all this stress. These slugs are going to be a permanent bloody problem, aren't they? They really are. This is where I'm starting to think that the strategy of having your miners divided into two teams, one that has guns and one that doesn't have guns, whereby you leave the unarmed guys to wander around collecting crystals and clearing rubble and that sort of thing, whilst the rest of your men just stand around in base waiting to repel attacks, which is quite a sensible way of doing things. There we are. And mind you, with the strength of the mining laser and the weakness of the slugs, with them only needing 2 shots to get them to retreat, it's not too terrible unless they spawn in a very sneaky place and prevent me from shooting them, like that one that very craftily managed to hide in the shadow of the power station so that I couldn't shoot him. I think that was highly crafty and suggests a level of intelligence that means I should have more qualms about killing these creatures than I do. See, look at that. Look at that. You sneaky, sneaky slug. Right. I can just about manage this. There we are! Hooray! Yeah, if they come out of that hole, I'm in a real pickle. Because I really have to work my way around them very carefully. There we are. I shall be rid of you. There we are. Don't hide behind your invincible brother. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, okay, I wasn't expecting slugs. That is adding an enormous complication to this and making this a lot more difficult than I otherwise expected it to be. But here we are. We're just going to have to live with it. Where has the slug appeared from? He's appeared from there. Let's get rid of him. Yeah, the lack of slugs in the majority of the game does make them a unique and very serious threat when it comes to back to basics, causing it to have the slightly legendary status that it does, as the level that separates the proverbial men from the proverbial boys, if you don't mind my use of that phrasing. Yeah, versus of course on the other side you're always going to have the argument that then, well, you're putting all the effort into designing and creating the slugs, and then you're only using them in one level rather than using them in more of the game, as Basmod seems to do. So, you know, different philosophies, I suppose, different ways of looking at things. I don't think one is specifically right and the other one is specifically wrong. I think it's more dynamic than that, really. Oh, good, another slimy slughole. Mind you, with the rate at which they're spawning, they do seem to be picking the closer holes rather than the further ones. Oh my giddy aunt, this is going to turn into a full-time bloody job at this rate. Have you popped out? There we are. Crying out loud. Can you actually aim down far enough to shoot him if he gets all the way? Yeah, we're going to find out. Yep, seems like it. Yeah, the fact that they can slide under the too freaking busy to deal with you people. There's just no passive defense system against these guys except just leaving action stations on, but if I do that they're just going to run off after the monsters, and then they're going to be miles away from the base when the slugs actually do arrive, and then there's going to be nobody there to defend, and then we're going to be in a right pickle. There you are. You're the one that can get to the base quicker, so it's most important that I get rid of you. However, whenever I take a moment in order to just catch my breath, it's always from that direction that they've spawned. Right, just being suspicious of the frame rate. Right, let me come back to my bloody pest control job, for crying out loud. I thought I was here to be mission commander, not slug removal expert. Right. I don't care anymore. Just actually thinking about it, if I've got loads of trucks, do I really need to worry that much about the slugs? Because surely they're just going to drain, you know, 2 or 3 crystals, and then they're going to go home again. So, if I just have enough trucks, then I can surely just offset that by having them at the ready to grab the crystals and then recharge them with that seam that's right next to the base. I mean, they've literally just got to drive from here to here and then back again. So that's hardly a task of Herculean difficulty, is it? So maybe it's not quite as pressing an issue as it otherwise would be. Because goodness knows the AI wasn't great at recharging crystals back in the day. So you really didn't want to have to recharge crystals because it was a massive pain in the bum. Just trying to get the people to actually acknowledge that recharging crystals was the thing that needed to happen. There we go. Yes, I know what it is. I'm more than aware of what it is. The fact that my heart is beating out of my chest at the very mention of their name. Oh gosh. From where? From many, many miles away. Okay. Interesting. Where's the slug? There's the slug. Right. Why have the monster spawned so very far away? That's most mysterious. I don't quite understand that. Yeah, because they're going to waltz through here, and they're going to walk all the way down here, and then they're just going to die on the fence. Why are they spawning so far away? I thought they were going to spawn right here where all these crystals are, but no. They're spawning miles away. That's very mysterious. Oh, go on, but there we go. Give you something to do whilst. Okay, they are coming for the crystals. Okay, interesting. I need to deal with this problem. There we are. And then I need to deal... Oh, for crying out loud. This is not going tremendously brilliantly. Would you stop doing that, please? Right, I'm going to have to tell you just to run away and retreat a little bit for a minute because I can't look after you because I'm slightly busy dealing with this problem. Yes, I'm aware of that fact. I'm trying to reuse the power in order to shoot this slug in the arse. Right, yes, I am aware. They've been doing that for a while. Man alive. We are still on very low numbers of crystals. This is crazy. Only 64, bloody hell. Right, you are just a massive pain in everyone's arse. I'm going to sit here and enjoy your death. There's a death mask for you. Oh good. Another slug. Well, at least he's going for the power station, which is vaguely intelligent. If admittedly, no less irritating than everything else that you lot do. Bollocks. That was not supposed to happen. Let's try this again. I really should just build another mining laser over there. It would be far more sensible and far more wise. I swear I'm not going to get 2 seconds of bloody peace, am I? Maybe it would be wise of me just to send the large mobile laser cutter around. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send the large mobile laser cutter around. I want to get rid of every sleeping monster I can find. And then I'm going to bring all of my people into base, set action stations going, and then just leave them and just see how it goes. Where's the other slug? There he is. Because we'll still have the trucks wandering around that can gather crystals. And if the people can just stand around and fight the... If the people can stand around and fight the slugs, then I will deal with the bloomin' monster in 2 shakes of the lamb's tail. Where's the monster come from? Another 500 mile away journey? Yep, another 500 mile away journey. Well, you know what, friend? I'm going to give you a shortcut. How's that? Bet you're absolutely chuffed, aren't you? I'm not, because I've got to deal with a slug in a minute. I'm going to drain some crystal shooting at this range, but don't worry about it. Let me just get rid of you, because that crystal is in danger. There we are. Now I will protect my power station, because this is in danger as well. My giddy aunt. From where? From there. Right. This is turning into absolute bedlam. I don't know what I expected from a, what, third to last level, but, oh, for crying out loud, I don't even care anymore. Let me get rid of this guy, and then there'll be no more, well, there will be one more sleeping monster, actually. There's one over here, which I don't think people would actually go after, but, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh! Move your buttocks. If indeed you have buttocks, which I'm sure that you don't because your anatomy is far too alien. Yeah, let me sort of... Oh yeah, I can drive on the freaking lava, can't I? What am I being worried about? I'm being worried about driving on lava! It's literally the one thing I can do in this game. Yeah, let me just get rid of you. Oh, damn it, I need to get like a tunnel of transport, don't I, so that I can actually, Oh, damn it! Just you come home, friend. Oh gosh, they're starting to drain crystals, and they're coming out the power station, not the tool store as I originally thought. Right, where's the other one? Oh, there isn't another one. Oh, there he is. Ask and thou shalt receive, one supposes. Right. Let me get rid of you. Send you straight back home. There we go. Oh gosh. Could you go and get some repairs, please? No. You are going to be in so much frickin' trouble if you do not get out of the way. Repair. Go home and repair yourself. Right. There we are. I have got so many problems and so few brain cells to address them with. Right, that's the end of him. Thank goodness for that. I can't shoot him because he's hiding behind there. Bloody hell. Yes, I'm aware of that. Right. Just gonna turn that on. And how many people have I actually got hanging around that just have guns? Not many is the answer to that. How many people do I have? Do I have 10 people? Yes, I do. How many, yeah, at this point, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. Okay, I can only support 10 miners, so I would have to get another, I'd have to get another transport, support hub, station, thing, whatever you, whatever the word is. You know what the words are, I just can't say them. I need to get rid of that wall, because this is causing chaos, because it's drawing everyone away from the base. This is exactly what I was worried about with the, this is what I was worried about with the, I'm now not going to be able to shoot that because the tunnel transport's going to get in the way, isn't it? Oh, for crying out loud. That was a small miracle. Right, okay, good. That's the end of that problem. Yeah, that, I was, for goodness sake. This is what I was worried about. People will get drawn away from dealing with what was most immediately important, and causing problems in that manner. So let me get rid of a little bit of this stuff for the hope of dissuading the monsters from spawning over here anymore, because at the very least I just want them to spawn a bit closer to home. It seems weird to say that, but yes, I actually do want the monsters to spawn closer to home for the sake of well, that's a problem. And now I'm going to have to drill out even more because I don't want the monsters to come over here and eat these until a couple of trucks have arrived to collect them. There we are. I might drill that out while I'm here actually, and then they can collect all the crystals at once. There we go. This is going not too terribly at the moment. Would you get that? I don't care if somebody's coming all the way from frickin' Aberystwyth in order to pick it up. Okay, they're not staying massively in the centre of the base, which is where I'd like them to be, but you can't have everything in life. Oh, sheesh. Never mind. My head is freaking spinning. I guess I'm not nearly as recovered as I thought I was, because clearly my head is still not quite in the right space. Given that this isn't too strenuous, we've pretty much got this under control. It's a bit worrying we've got to the stage where you just turn action stations on and leave it on. It's never a good day when that happens. But here we are all the same. What, is there a slug being a problem? No, he's retreating. Okay, that's good. As long as he's retreating, that's the only thing I care about. Okay, let's just relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. Everything's going to be alright. We've got enough people that we're pretty much in one piece. It would be nice to have another support station. I might pop one there. I don't know who's going to build the bloody thing, because there's going to be nobody there to put the there's going to be no one there to actually build it and sort of put down the fences and stuff. But essentially what I want to do is build another one and then bring down maybe like 4 or 5 more people and give them guns, just so that we've got a few more troops on the ground, just in case when we start getting up to like 100, 150 crystals, if the slugs decide to go absolutely mental, which I wouldn't put past them at all. We know what they're like. There we go. And then just as soon as they're done, I'll bring down 2 more. There we are. These will be the last ones, and then I think we'll be yeah, because the more and more those slugs are appearing with a higher frequency, and they're appearing, more of them are appearing at the same time. So that is what is making me worried that the situation is only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. So where do I want to go next? The answer to that is away, but I can't. Not yet, because I haven't filled my quota yet, because I'm paying coagulation station again. Dear, that was a fun little game. Never mind. This video is going to be so bloody long. We're already approaching the 2-hour mark. What is this video? 2.5 hours? The thing is you know this. You knew this before you even clicked on the video. You knew how long it was. I didn't when I started this. I still had the young, foolish fantasy that this might actually be, like, you know, an hour and 20 or something. But no such luck. Oh dear. Okay, so we've got the 2 trucks and we've got the tunnel transport, so that's pretty good, just in terms of moving crystals around and transporting things. So I'm not totally disappointed with that. Third truck could be nice, but we're not in situations where we have big heaps of crystals that we need to clear out really quickly, like at the end of Rocky Horror. We've got more a situation of we just need to survive long enough that we can pick up the little dribs and drabs that we find as we slowly mine this place out, rather than there being one great big store of them. Oh dear. Just keep breathing. Just keep on breathing. Oh dear. What was I talking about ages ago? Getting grumpy about something. I'm always getting grumpy about something, especially when I play this game, because I'm not really good at it. Either that or I am good at it and the frame rate's just crap. Oh, mind you, the frame rate looks alright at the moment, that's alright. I don't know why I keep worrying about frame rates. And I feel like if I was actually that worried about frame rates, I'd have actually gone through with my plan about buying a better computer, but then I got all sorts of other silly ideas in my head about buying things like cars and houses, and actually decided that maybe that was slightly more pressing when it came to making my savings. But never mind, such is life. No, I think ages ago I made some sort of snide comment about putting something to bed for one reason or another, and that reminded me of... Oh, this is going to be a pain in my bum, isn't it? Because the people are going to come over here and try and kill this monster, which means I'm going to have to kill him as quickly as I can. Yeah, it reminded me of one or two comments that I've read. Very nice comments that people have said that they sometimes watch some of these videos to sort of relax and go to sleep. Listening to, which is very nice. I like it when people say that sort of thing, because that sounds pretty bloody bad. Everything seems all right. No, I'm very complimentary when people say that. I mean, on the one hand, it does sound like I have, you know, such an enthralling and titillating personality that I just send everybody immediately to sleep, which suggests. Which, you know, isn't a glowing endorsement on my personality, but no, I'm sure it's not meant that way. I'm sure it's meant in the same way that when I was younger and I watched people play games on YouTube, and even now with other types of YouTube videos, not games. I don't watch people play games on YouTube because they always play them better than I do, and then I look like an absolute muppet by comparison. Not to suggest that I don't look like a muppet in my own right, but you know what I mean. You know, I also often used to and still do watch videos in order to try and get to sleep, particularly when I'm struggling to get to sleep, like insomnia, or if I'm not feeling well, like the last few nights when I've had this naff throat infection that makes it very difficult to sleep because it's very difficult to breathe. It's nice to just put on something which has sort of a friendly, familiar voice that you can just relax and unwind listening to. I suppose in the same sort of way that children find it easier to go to sleep if they're listening to one of their parents read them a story, for example. Just having that familiar and somewhat soothing voice that you feel at home with can be a very comforting thing, I think. So I'm always quite honoured when people say that they sometimes listen to one or two of my derpy old videos as they're trying to relax and send themselves off to dreamland. But yes, I don't know where I was going with that, but yes, I think I was trying to make some some subpar joke about having a boring personality. Right. Oh dear. We could go through here, which I don't really want to do, or we could come all the way back over here and go through here, which I also don't really want to do. I like that they're just standing here. Is this camping? Is this called is this what camping is in a video game where you or in like a multiplayer game where you just sit next to the spawn point and just shoot people as soon as they spawn? Is that what this is? I get the distinct impression that might be what's going on, and I'm not wholly disapproving of the tactic. I'm slightly worried about this, however. No, everything seems to be alright. That one's retreating as well. So, no, I think generally they're keeping a decent handle on things, which is good. So I can leave them to their devices and not get not start micromanaging things. I'm a little bit worried about this, however, because the okay, good. I was worried that the trucks wouldn't be able to access this area and they wouldn't be able to come and collect these crystals, and we'd be relying on the tunnel transport, which of course is a tad slower and of course can carry only 4 resources rather than 6, like the trucks can. So that would have slowed us down a wee bit. But okay, there's a few seams over here, which is pretty good actually. There's quite a lot of seams actually. Yeah, we've got all the more slugs arriving, haven't we? Oh, gosh. Never mind. Oh, bloody hell, there's a lot of seams here. And I've managed to clear away all of the potential spawn points for monsters as well, which is lovely. So that means these crystals will be vaguely safe. I'll leave the large mobile laser cutter there just in the event that any monsters spawn and they need to defend them. In the meantime, let's check how the battle goes. The battle seems to go quite well. Bloody hell. There's like 8 of them just standing in exactly the same spot, and they all shoot at the same moment. There's like some massive cannon going off, like in the Death Star, when all of the little lasers come together to form the one big laser that then shoots out. Or I think Species 8472 did that as well, didn't they, in an episode of Voyager where they blow up a planet. They do something similar there. I'm glad to see that my little rock raiders have decided to learn from the very best. Or possibly the very worst. I don't know, but it's a sound military tactic. You can't argue with that. This doesn't seem to go anywhere. Nowhere at all, in fact. So some of these, I'm guessing, are going to be a complete waste of time, and then other ones, like this one, are going to be vitally important. Mind you saying that? Oh, we're up to 130. Okay, so I've got 40 crystals in vehicles and buildings, have we? That's a hell of a lot. Alright, okay, there's nothing on the other side of here. I will just mine it out on the off chance that there are some crystals in here, though I highly doubt it. But we'll just punch through and have a quick look. Nope, nothing there. What about on the other side of here? This is going to be a pickle, because there's no way in hell I'm going to get the trucks over here, so this is going to be entirely up to the tunnel transport, which is going to be a little bit tricky. But if I try and be relatively quick about oh, stop it, honestly, about mining out these walls, then that will... Oh good, more freaking lava on the other side of this. Oh good. I'm so bloomin' worried for a minute then that we mightn't find any more lava. Slugs just cool it for 5 minutes. Probably not. I imagine they're all rather hot and sweaty in this sort of situation. Do slugs sweat? I don't know, and I don't want to know. I feel like you get I feel as if you don't get a lot of slugs in hot climates. Do you? I feel like you mostly get slugs in relatively temperate environments. Because I suppose if it was too hot, then they'd start to dry out eventually, wouldn't they? Because as I understand it, they need to keep themselves relatively well lubricated, to use an absolutely disgusting phrase. But yeah, So I think slugs tend to avoid presumably very cold environments where their fluids would freeze, or very warm environments where their fluids might evaporate. Presumably both of those would be quite dangerous for a slug creature? I don't know. I'm not a slugologist, but I'm just sort of making it up and theorising as I go. Slug theories. That wouldn't be a frightfully popular format, would it? Dear oh dear. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to get in this front, I think. So I'm going to come over here, which at one point, this was land. A long time ago. Gladly the lava isn't too much of a problem that I need to actively combat it. But yeah, it's going to take quite a lot of trips for the tunnel transport to bring all those crystals back. So I'm going to try and open up another passageway here on this sort of western perimeter and see if I can produce an access point for my trucks to go through, so that they can go and collect some of those crystals and speed it up a little bit, because I'm a little concerned that some monsters may spawn and then make an absolute beeline for those crystals, because the tunnel transport will not be able to evacuate them quickly enough. I like how I say evacuate rather than just collect, as if I'm talking about real people, for crying out loud. These aren't people, they're far more valuable, they're crystals. Yeah, I want to open up a passageway as quickly as I can, so that we can get these crystals out and hopefully find some more crystals, because yeah, these monsters are going to be a big old pain in my bum. Big old pain in my bum. Yeah, if we break through there, I reckon we'll be alright. Yeah, I reckon we can just about manage this. Whew. This has been a lot more challenging than I expected, probably just because of the onslaught of slugs. It is, they are proving to be a lot more challenging. Although, really, now that I've set up action stations and spawned quite a lot of people just to wander around with guns, they're not proving to be that much of a problem. They are keeping all my people busy, and if there were a lot of them, I think we'd struggle. But I suppose up to a certain point, you can just keep getting more support stations and having more people, can't you? Yeah, because I mean, I could have up to 30 people here. I'd hate to think what that would do to the frame rate. But yeah, you could have like you could have 30 people, and that would cause bedlam, wouldn't it? I'm going to turn off all collection and then completely forget to turn it back on at the start of the next video. And then when we start getting back to basics, I'm going to be saying, why won't you build my support station? Oh, I forgot to turn the priority back on. Because I'm an absolute muppet. With no brain, and no common sense, and no ability to not bollock up everything I come within 6 miles of. Okay, there we are. That's opened all of that up. They can get all of those crystals, they can bring them home, and then I can have to look round the microphone. I'm really not used to having a microphone of this size in order to see how many crystals I've got. Okay, just relax. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We can do this. We can do this. I must say, I would have thought there'd been more monsters. I think I would have expected this level to have a lot more monsters spawning in it than there has been, and I find myself wondering, when you're sort of designing the level, as I understand it, I've only poked around in the editor very lightly and not for quite a while, so forgive me if I misunderstand how it works. But hello, Mrs. B. Have you woken up from your little nap and decided you'd like to have a grump? You're always having a grump because you're a very grumpy grandpa cat. Yeah, it seems like you can set down sort of spawn points for monsters and say like, oh, here is a wall and this can spawn monsters, and you can also set it up to be triggered by certain things like people walking on certain squares and things. I think you can arrange sort of triggering events in order to say when monsters should spawn, or possibly you can just set it up on a timer as well. That would make some semblance of sense on spaces. So I suppose you could have more monsters in a level simply by having more spawn points. But I think it might also possibly be nice for... I don't know, almost if... No, override seems the wrong word, but if people could sort of... A designer of a level could sort of influence the rate at which monsters spawned. So that, yes, you could influence it through the slider yourself, but then you could have it as like a hard level, which would have like the monsters spawning at, I don't know, 50 percentage points greater than normal by default. So yes, you could still adjust the slide in order to put it down or push it up if you so wanted to, but then you could sort of force the level to be a bit harder, at least by standard, rather than the player having to sort of adjust the sliders themselves each time they want to decide how difficult they want to make the level. And I say that a bit tongue-in-cheek, I suppose, because yes, I know I've been singing the praises of the difficulty sliders and saying how marvellous they are, because it means that if you want the level to be easy, you can just push the sliders down and the level's easy, or if you want the level to be difficult, you can push the sliders up and make it more difficult. But I suppose the only disadvantage of that is it then leaves a certain onus on the player to then decide how difficult they want the level to be, and thus to move the sliders around themselves, rather than the levels just being decided as being difficult, and thus having and thus having, you know, more monsters or whatever. Obviously you can have more monsters by just having more asleep monsters, but as I have said before, and I will continue to say again, sleeping monsters have the severe disadvantage that they only wake up when you shoot them or walk past them, which means you can really pick and choose your moment as to when you kill them. I think this is going to cause a bit of an interesting problem, because a couple of slugs are going to spawn. Yep, and there's going to be nobody here to defend the place. So I am going to have to intern for a minute and do a little bit of base defense of my own. There we are. Is there any crystals being drained? Presumably not, otherwise those trucks would be going crazy sorting it out. So presumably, for crying out loud, presumably everything's fine apart from this. Oh, I thought I'd already shot him. Presumably I have, because he went in one. He went in one hit instead of hanging around. So presumably I did shoot him, and then I missed him the second time and didn't even realise, because I was too busy panicking about things. Yeah, maybe it would be a nice sort of feature if the let's say I shoot this guy, and then that wakes up all the monsters in like a certain vicinity. You know, he lets, I don't know, a roar or something, and that oh sheesh, this is exactly what I didn't want. Yeah, that sort of wakes up the other monsters, so that you then have to deal with a greater number of monsters at the same time. I don't know really. But yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to avoid, because now everyone is fussy about the monsters. You've had your supper, stop being grumpy. Yeah, now they're all fussing about the monsters rather than being at home protecting everywhere from the slugs. So I'm going to have to dart back in a second just to check that everything's okay. Yeah, they seem to have a handle on things. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that they're all doing all right. This has been a bit of a marathon of a level, hasn't it? My giddy aunt, this is a big one, and it's not gentle in the least. But I think we are approaching the end, because we've got 180 crystals in stock. If you'd get your great big bomb out the way, I might be able to get on with my day. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, we could spawn things up, obviously, in order to finish the level, and if we don't find some more stuff soon, we may have to do exactly that, because how many have we got in total then? 224, that's not too bad. What are you being grumpy about, you small cat? Do you want some treats? I will give you some treats just as soon as I am finished with this. I have important responsibilities that must be attended to, because this is absolutely vital that I finish this. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. You know, if you told me, hell, I don't know, what is it, 3.5 years? How long's the series been going on for now? Bloody hell. Yeah, if you told me all that time ago that I'd still be playing this, still be making videos on this, and still really enjoying them, all these episodes, all these levels, and possibly all these years later. When the hell did I discover this? I think it was January of 21, I think. Bloody hell, that means it has been nearly... No, if I discovered it in January 21 and it's nearly January 25, that means I've been doing this 4 years? Oh yeah, because it's going to be the 5-year anniversary of the channel next summer, isn't it? Oh my word. 5 years. How have I been doing this for half a decade? Oh my giddy aunt, give it 6 months and I would literally have been doing this for half a decade. What is... That is... I don't know if I'm proud or ashamed of that fact. Bloody hell, Manic Miners is... There was a time when there was competition for the longest running series on the channel, but my giddy aunt, there ain't any more. I don't think anything's ever going to beat this. My word. It does amaze me how this game has held its savour for me. I mean, it's not like I ever got bored of playing the original Rock Raiders, but the fact that I can continue to play this in such a manner that I can continue to make videos about it, because there's a difference between, you know, just playing a game and they are literally just standing together to fire up a mega blast into the slug's face, aren't they? That is quite a tremendous thing. Let's observe. Boom! Bloody hell. That's vicious, and I love it. Oh, I missed a bit. Bloody hell, it's like painting the spare room. You always miss a blooming bit. Never mind, we'll do this as the last little bit then. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, there's a very distinct difference between just playing a game passively and you know, just to pass the time or just to have a tad bit of fun with it, and actually playing a game to such a degree where you can you know, talk about it and make a video on it. So the fact that we're still going is frankly quite amazing to me. I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go from here. Obviously, as I said at the start, we'll do back to basics. I expect that will be a video on its own. If I try to do back to basics and Rocky Horror in the same video, that's probably going to take most of a week rather than just all of an evening. I was watching a film last night, and it was I think it was about 2 hours and 2 hours 20 minutes, something like that. And I'm now just beginning to realise that the vast majority of these Manic Miners videos are literally the length of a Hollywood film. It genuinely amazes me that anybody can find the time to watch any of this rubbish. But presumably you do, if you're hearing these words, and I'm grateful that you do. I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful that you listen, because it makes me feel a little bit less like I'm just talking into the void. And that makes me feel a tad more sane than I have any right to. So isn't that lovely? Right! I think we're done. And we have just managed to get the 200 despite all of the extra stuff that I've pumped into various stuff. This is a bloody battle station, this is, isn't it? With its turrets and its defensive perimeter and all its troopers. Amazing. I do wish you could move people around when there are action stations, because it is important that you can redirect troops, but then you have to sort of turn it off in order to let people move, but then they'll just go and eat sandwiches, so you don't really achieve anything. Oh my word. I'm so glad that's over. That was taxing. Really good fun and really enjoyable, and a nice way to make a level that was always difficult a good bit more so.
45 energy crystals in those conditions must have been really tough. Well done. We only need another 50 energy crystals and we can go home.
Well, that tells us how many we need for, God, 1,000 pieces of ore. Bloody hell. That tells us how many we need for Rocky Horror, doesn't it? Yeah, there it is.
Rocky Horror.
Because, I think... Oh, my back. Oh, forgive me. What are you being grumpy about? Stop being grumpy. Don't pull the threads out of my suit. Come here and say hello. There we go. Yeah, I imagine for most people, it was certainly the case for myself, that Hot Stuff was never the penultimate level. Never, ever the penultimate level. Sometimes, in fact, Rocky Horror was the penultimate level, because when you do Hot Stuff, you then unlock Rocky Horror, and then you do Rocky Horror, because it's vaguely winnable, versus, and then leave Back to Basics for later, versus doing Back to Basics anytime sooner. But yeah, judging by the ending dialogue script there, it certainly seems like you were supposed to do Back to Basics, then do Hot Stuff, and then go to the end, possibly suggesting that the sort of canonical order of the levels is sort of going across like this, one row at a time. Would you stop putting your claws through my trouser legs? Which possibly gives us an indication of what the canonical level ordering was, which is vaguely interesting, possibly. But yeah, that's that done. And I'm glad we got those two done this evening. That leaves this one probably for some time in January. She wants more supper, which seems to be what's happening. She's currently sitting by the dinner bowl, looking at me with a very grumpy expression on her face. Yeah, and Rocky then Horror. After that we'll do Rocky Horror. Oh dear, I've heard things about Basmod Rocky Horror, not quite as much as I've heard about remastered Rocky Horror, but
Rocky Horror.
I've heard things. We'll see how it goes. This is the one I'm dreading far more, however. To be honest, even standard Back to Basics I dread at the best of times.
Rocky Horror.
Oh boy, I was going to say I can't believe we're coming to the end. Not really, because it seems like people want me to do the remastered campaign as well if it would stop crashing. Oh boy, I've heard things about the remaster campaign, and yeah, as you can see here, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again, because again, if you're this far into a series and you're this far into an episode, what the hell do you care if I say the same thing twice? As you can see by the time there, I have played the remastered version of Drill and Night just to see what it was, because people were saying that the remastered versions are very different from the standard campaign. I won't say anything about this because I'd like to replay it on camera if and when we do come to do the remastered campaign. Yeah, the remastered version of Drill and Night is very interesting and very interestingly crafted, I'll put it that way. And I've heard people say that the remastered campaign sort of makes you change your tactics and play the game differently, which sounds very interesting, versus most people seem to be describing Basmod as generally the same, but a bit tougher, really. But yes, anyway. Yeah, in terms of where the series might go after this, I imagine once I finish doing Basmod, I won't go straight into the remaster campaign. I'd like to go back and do some more custom levels, because they're always very interesting and bizarre. Always a little bit of a gamble, because it's difficult to know whether they're the sort of level that's suitable for a video, whether it's sort of an interesting exploratory level or whether it's just more of a farming expedition, because most of the levels seem to fit into those two dimensions. But I haven't done any custom levels since 1.0 came out, to the best of my knowledge. I've been doing Basmod ever since then. So yeah, if you know of any interesting custom levels that you think might be worth a play, then please do feel free to recommend any, and we might do 1 or 2 videos of custom levels maybe, and then we'll probably do the remastered campaign after that, because why not? People seem to want it, and my hesitancy to do it was that people will be bored stiff of seeing me play the same set of levels for the 3rd bloody time. But apparently people aren't bored, so yeah, fine, I'm not going to complain. Give the public what they want, so they say. Oh, shush. Right, that's enough of all that. Thank you very much for joining this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed that. We'll do Back to Basics next time. Yes, thank you for being here and putting up with my absolute madness. Look after each other, and good night.